Hi everyone, welcome in. This is Julie Max and the Maine Stamper. I am doing a Facebook Live for the first time in probably over a month. So I had a little panic attack earlier because my streaming software that I use had a glitch in it and I wasn't sure if I was going to get it working in time. So I really am just kind of verifying here that I am live and hopefully you guys can see me and hear me. Oh, Jess, hi, Jess. It's so good to see you. It's really good to be back. I missed you guys terribly. And I know a lot of people won't see the beginning of this video, and that's perfectly fine. I just want to say thank you to everyone who reached out with sympathy cards. I was just overwhelmed with your compassion. I wanted to share with you, this is my stack of birthday cards, right? So I had a May 6th birthday. This is my stack of birthday cards. Handmade cards that you guys sent to me. This is my stack of sympathy cards. These are all the sympathy cards that I received. So a huge stack of sympathy cards, and they absolutely meant the world to me. So thank you guys for that. I needed that. So let me just shove some things aside here. We're getting back into it again. This is it. Oh my gosh, I got a whole bunch of you guys on here. I'm so excited. Hi, Lexi, Patty, Kathy, Lois, Laura, you guys are awesome. Okay, I'm good. I am live. So we're going to jump into it because this is the card class tonight. We're doing a card class again. Things are changed up a little bit going forward. You know, we've got the new annual catalog. I missed so many opportunities to share things with you over the last month when my world fell apart. It really fell apart. I was going to do all kinds of things and it just didn't happen. I didn't have it in me to do it. Things just... So, sorry. I don't want to be emotional today, but we're doing a card class. So things will change a little bit. With the new prices in the catalog, the cost of mailing out card kits to you. I'm just changing things a little bit, but we're still going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to have some really great card classes, card kits in the mail for you. Tomorrow's free shipping day, so I just want to touch on that. Tomorrow, if you spend $75 or more, Stampin' Up! Is giving you free shipping. So it's a really great time to shop, get some things from the new catalog. Make sure you take advantage of that. They don't offer free shipping all the time, so you guys want to jump in on that. Pool up with a friend. If you can't come up with $75 and you have a stamping friend, maybe you can each do $35, $40 and put it under one order. If your order totals $75, you get the free shipping. So that's a really awesome, awesome deal. All right, so we are, this is a fun class because, and a really good way for me to start out again. First of all, please notice my swirly fan. It's starting to get warm. I got to get the AC going in here. I did this card class Saturday in my house in Carmel, Maine. I had 6 stampers come over and we made these cards. Now, I might change my cards up a little bit because they had some really great ideas on how to incorporate into these cards, and I just loved it. So there may be a few changes. And I laughed, and we talked about the, hi Donna, we talked about how my card class could watch this Monday night and see what they did differently from how I intended it to be done, because it happens, right? Creativity is creativity. So, all right, without further ado, we're going to get over to my workspace now, and we're going to talk about our wonderful bundle. So this is the first bundle I'm showcasing in the new catalog. Please continue to say hi as you jump on. I like to know who's hanging out with me. So this is the Thoughtful Wishes bundle, and it is on page 46 and 47 of your annual catalog, the new one. Now we can open it up. This is the first time I've been able to open it with you. This is a cling stamp set. So it's got some really great generic imagery. I love a good splotch, and lots of sentiments. And I want to tell you that these sentiments were so much fun to use. I actually have mounted up everything except for Missing You. That's the only sentiment I don't have mounted up. We had a lot of fun with the sentiments in the online, in the in-person class is what I want to say. And we used combinations of, so there's 6 sentiments on here. Dearest friend, thinking of you fondly, thanks, missing you, you make life better, and I appreciate you. This is really these are thoughtful sentiments, right? So I did up this cute little chart, and I'm going to be sharing this for you to print in my email that's going to come out on Thursday. I'm going to be getting back into my regular emailing system. So Thursday, you're going to get a kind of a newsletter from me. You will have this PDF that you can download, print. and trim. I trimmed mine down and then I put it on a piece of cardstock. This is Pool Party. It's just under 5 by 7. It fits really nicely in your stamp case. So in case you didn't know this, if you bend your stamp cases a little bit this way, the opposite of normal, right? This clear plastic coating kind of pulls to the back. You can pull out this piece right here, right? So those are all things you can do. And that means you can tuck things in too. So I've got my little thoughtful sentiment combinations. I will probably glue these together so they stay nicer in here, but I wanted to show you how you could do that. So when I open this case up now, going forward in the future, I'm going to be able to see different combinations of the words for the outside and the inside of the card. This is, or of course you could use 2 on the outside, totally up to you, but just a really great way to use. So dearest friend goes well with I appreciate you, thinking of you fondly, you make life better, thanks, and missing you. So those are all sentiments you can use with dearest friend. So I've kind of gone through. Missing you has only 3. And then the rest of them, some of them have 5, some of them have 4. So I came up with some great combination on thoughtful. I came up with thoughts on thoughtful wishes. So this is the stamp set. This is the dies. So there are the bonus dies in here. The bonus dies are ones that cut out imagery that don't go with a stamp image. So these 3 leafy flowery items will each have a die that will cut them out. The rest of these are bonus dies. So there's a whole bunch of them in here. I'm going to guess there's probably about 11. That's what it says on my packaging. So Thoughtful Wishes bundle, it is in here. Thoughtful Journey Sweet has the beautiful paper. This paper is on back order until the end of May. This is gorgeous watercolor wash type paper, like so beautiful. And the card class tonight is using this paper on all 4 cards. So hi Kelly, good to see you. So this is going to show you a great way to use that paper. Now, if you don't have that paper and you're substituting other paper at home, you're just making cards, I'm going to show you some really great ways to do that too. So this is the bundle that I'm using today. This is our Thoughtful Wishes card class. So when you spend $40 with me this week, you're going to get the 4 card kits. And 4 card kits, right? So it used to be 3 card kits, 2 of each. I'm changing it up. It's going to be 4 card kits. Let me grab out my card kits here. 1, 2. I lost ribbon on one of them. 3, 4. So you're getting these 4 card kits in the mail. So they're going to make 4 cards, 4 different cards. You're getting some ribbon that go with some of these. This one goes with this one. I'm going to tuck this one back in. We're going to talk about all the things that are inside your card kits. And then I have used the basic Gray and Smoky Slate Pearls on each card. This is what's left over from 7 sets of cards right now. So you can see that they're going to go quite a ways. You're going to get a full pack if you spend $50 or more with me this week using my host code 3JWSU9RE. So you'll get a full pack of these from me, 4 card kits, a little bit of ribbon to go with each card, and they're going to be beautiful. They're going to be so beautiful cards. You're going to love these cards, you guys, because the paper is just so beautiful. Now I've done a little bit of die cutting ahead so we can kind of dive in and get into our class. And we may be changing up some sentiments as well. So let's get into our very first card here. Now, obviously, if you came to my class, you already know what these cards look like. So our first card has a white base. And I did die cut some things ahead of time, so I'm going to just kind of set these aside because I'm going to show you how we're going to work with these. But this will be all of the paper that's in your card kit. So you get lots of different layers because I love layers. This is your designer series paper for this one. We've got some thinner strips. You can use either side depending on how it's cut. Now, sometimes the paper gets cut and it just doesn't work for everything. But let me bring in our cards so you can see our very first card. So this one's pretty simple, pretty easy to replicate. And even if you don't have these dies or this stamp set, you can definitely add in some other flourishes that you have and whatever other stamps that you have, and you're gonna be able to make a really, really pretty card. So this is card number 1. I'm gonna flip my camera over just so I can make sure I have everything in the picture here. For this first card, we're using Blackberry Bliss and Misty Moonlight. So these are the inks that we're gonna be using. And because I like layers, a lot of my cards just have lots of layers on them. I'm gonna find my glue. Hopefully my glue works. It's been a few minutes since I've really been active in my craft room. I haven't been doing a lot lately, so things are a little helter-skelter in here. And a little bit crazy, right? So we've got Misty Moonlight, Blackberry Bliss, and then we have to decide which way we want the designer series paper to go. So this is kind of that window type look, a quilted look. Sometimes you kind of get a quilted look when you layer strips of paper. Now this is what it's going to look like if I stick with the purple, which I really like. But I'm going to flip it over. In class, Elisa flipped hers over, and she did the blue, and it was really stunning as well, because again, I try to keep the colors so that if you want to flip it, you can. You've got blue in here. So this is what it would look like if we did blue. So it kind of gives you an idea. Now I really like the purple, so I think I'm going to stick with purple. So my recommendation is to start with the one in the middle. And it doesn't really matter which way these go. I mean, if you really wanted them to, you could put them together like a puzzle piece and you can see how they go, but you can mix them up if you want to too. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here on the first one, and I'm going to put it right here in the middle. I'm going to approximate the middle. So it's kind of, it's on here, but nothing's like, I'm not using my ruler to measure this out. Oh, and I put it on, I think it's upside down. Nope, doesn't matter. I don't have it on my card base yet. Let's flip this way. We're going to go this way. I want the purple at the top. Okay, I'm new here. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've done some crazy crafting online. So this class may be a little wackier than some that I have done. And that's just because, you know, I'm getting back into it here with you. So we're going to see how this goes. So here we go. I've just put them on here. And I know girls on Saturday were like, oh, mine are crooked and I didn't do, and I'm like, you know what? It's okay, because once you get lots of different things on here, nobody really notices. Mine are going to be crooked too, and I'm going to be okay with this. Crooked is okay. So we've got that on there. And this is going to be the piece that's going to come across here and get stamped. So we're going to be adding a whole bunch more things on here. So let's do our stamping. I may need to bring in a scrap paper of some sort, because I think we're going to be stamping bigger than our little sentiment piece here. So let's start out with thanks in the Blackberry Bliss. Now again, these are all red rubber stamps, so I really like the way that they do stamp. We're going to do thanks in Blackberry, and we're going to keep it to the bottom right side. So there's my thanks. Beautiful, right? And we're going to set that one aside, and we're going to bring in Misty Moonlight and a little bit of a flowery stamp. So there's some different flower stamps on here. This is what they look like, just like so. And we're going to just go ahead and ink this up. I'm going to put this one on. I'm going to put one here. So you can see that this stamp is way bigger than the paper. So just wherever that's going to fit on there. If you've got other flower stamps at home, you could add those in too. So I've got 2 of those on there. Now once all of our layers are on here, they do really get hidden, but it's nice to be able to practice. So if those don't turn out perfectly, it's okay, because we're going to hide them. No one's going to know that they're there and that they look maybe not perfect. So I'm going to take a, Jess says cricket is the only way she knows how to craft. That's so funny. The paper made it easy to decide which side. Elisa loves that paper. I know, so pretty. Hi, Elisa. Hi, Bonnie. Okay, so I'm cleaning this off because we are using these stamps for different cards tonight. This is one of those stamp sets that you are going to be using over and over for different cards, just for that reason. I think I'm going to pop this on dimensionals. I did not pop anything on dimensionals on this card right here, and I think it's time to do it just a little mix up here, because I don't know why I didn't put anything on dimensionals, because normally I do. So we're going to change it up here in the mix. Sometimes I get creating and I just glue, and then, oh my goodness, it's too late. Everything is where it is. So we're going to bring this in right about here. This white paper that we just stamped is going to be the same width as your Blackberry Bliss paper. And we have a card base here somewhere. This is where you want to pay attention to upside down, right side up, because you want to make sure that comes on here onto your card base the right way. So we're going to go this way, just like this. How pretty is this already, right? I mean, if we didn't add anything else to this card, I think it would be just lovely. So here is the bones, really kind of the bones of our card here too. And then I'm going to show you with the rest of the paper from this kit. You will be doing some die cutting, and if you have this particular bundle, you are good to go. And if you don't, swap in some other things. I'm going to set my paper aside, and I'm going to share with you which dies I use on these papers. So Make sure they're all in camera view here. Let me flip back over again. Randomly, hi Jody, I miss you too. And your cards, oh my gosh, Jody, your cards were so beautiful. Thank you for sending me such lovely cards. You and Lexi, you guys are the sweetest. Okay, so this is the, we're gonna call this kind of like a big swirly, you're going to see how big this die is. So this is going to go here, and then you're going to use the blue. There's like 2 leaves here. They're kind of connected together. They kind of remind me of like oak leaves. And I feel like this set could transition really into fall as well, maybe even some winter scenes. This one kind of looks like a flower, and you've got 2 pieces of the Blackberry Bliss here, so you're going to be doing 2 of those, and I already die cut them, so I'm going to just share with you what they look like. So here's this big floral piece, the florally kind of like white piece. This is the little leaves come out and they pop out the center, so you're basically getting kind of the outline shape here of the leaves. I'm going to put that one down there, and then here are my 2 little Blackberry Bliss flowers. Now these are very thin, so either get some adhesive sheets and put them on to your cardstock before you die cut, or glue very carefully, right? So you're going to do 2 of these. I think I have some glue on my fingers because that just flew off my hand. So this is the little die here that's going to do these cute little flowers. So I'm going to just set those aside. This is the paper you're getting in your kit, so you'll have those to do. And then I'm just going to layer these onto here, kind of just like this. So I did the white down the bottom, then the little blue leaves, and then the little Blackberry Bliss flowers. Now on my first card, I glued those down. I glued them pretty flat. Very carefully I glued them, I should say. I'm going to try something different tonight because sometimes I like to change it up. So I'm just going to take some tear and tape. I'm going to put these on my card where I want them to go. Maybe over this way a little bit more. And I'm going to kind of put this on here at an angle. So I'm starting a little bit higher and coming a little bit lower. So you notice that I glued 0 things here so far, which was nice. And I'm going to just kind of push this down a little bit, this tear and tape, into my die cuts because they're open die cuts. So it should be able to catch and reach through and hold them in place. So they are on there. That's pretty sweet. I might add another layer here just for an extra measure. So I'm going to do 1 more here, and then I'm going to put my bow over top of this. So I've got 2 layers of sticky right here. So if you're paying attention at home, that's the sticky stuff. So I'm sending you a little bit of this. Oh my gosh, this ribbon is so beautiful. This is new ribbon, iridescent. And I was talking to Jane the other day. Jane was making a wedding card, and I said to her, do you have any iridescent, or not iridescent, I said, do you have any like kind of sheer white type ribbon for a wedding card? And she did have some with a silver trim, which was beautiful. This would work really nicely on a wedding card too, a wintry card. This is in the annual catalog, so it's going to be around for a bit, but it's really nice because it's a soft ribbon. It's not harsh and bumpy, so when you make a bow with a knot in it, it's not I want to say it's mailing friendly. If I can make a bow, that would be even better, right? So you're getting enough of it here to make a small bow. Let me see if I can't get my fingers to manipulate this ribbon a little bit here. Okay, we're working on it. So I probably should have made bows ahead too. We are doing 4 cards tonight, so Julie needs to probably step up the pace a little bit. So here we go. We've got our 4 little... we got our little bow for the first card. I'm jumping ahead. We've got bows for days here. I'm going to just pop this on here. This is going to go kind of right over top of the tear and tape, and you can manipulate the bow so that it really covers down through where it's sticky. So if you need to like make it kind of work a little bit for you, it's going to be on there. I need to trim the ends just a little bit. So my bow here is a little bit different than the first one on my original card because I did add quite a bit of tear and tape that I needed to cover. And there it is. Just, I mean, I kind of like it popped up for sure. I think Elisa popped hers up when we were in class on Saturday, and I thought, oh my goodness, why did I not think of that when I was making the card to begin with? So these great pearls, they're 2 colors. They're basic gray and smoky slate. They are really fun. So you get 2 sizes, of course, right? And they're just kind of different. So I'm going to grab some here, and we're going to just pop on our little triangle of 3. And there's our very first card, just like that. So you can kind of see how easy that one goes together, right? That one's a really simple, quick, easy card. Now you can do these paper strips with any designer series paper. So that's kind of a nice thing to do with some strips, especially if you have leftover bits after you've cut something bigger and you just have those 1-inch, I believe these are 1-inch strips. I want to say they're 1-inch strips. They are. So if you have any 1-inch strips of designer series paper, layer 3 of them together. You can do them crooked or straight. That's totally up to you. But this is card number 1. This will be in your card kits this week if you order with me. And there we go. On just checking messages here real quick, making sure we're still good. All right, so we're going to move on to the second card now. And if I can find it, we'll do it. Right, here we go. Second card. All right, so this one is going to be a little bit, this one everyone thought had a little bit of fall feel to it, kind of an autumnal feel, even though we're just getting into the summer months. This is Lost Lagoon, and I'm going to set aside my die cuts that I did earlier. So Lost Lagoon, and I do like to add a lot of layers. This one, I don't know if you can see it or not. I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera, but it is a new embossing folder called Cute Crochet. So cute. And it has very subtle patterns in it. It looks like old school, like a crocheted Afghan. And I was talking to Betsy, my stamper, not my dog. I was talking to Betsy at class, and I was saying, like, how cute would it be to trim out these little squares and then maybe patchwork them in different colors. Like if you if you emboss like some different colors and cut out squares, you could make a really cute little patchwork design on a card. So this is a new embossing folder. Oh my gosh, I didn't even show you the finished card yet. Here's our finished card. So you're going to see here now why I'm saying it's kind of a little bit autumny in color. We're using some peach pie, which is a new color. And we're using espresso here too, a little bit of wild wheat. And these are really some fun colors together. So we're going to talk about all these parts and pieces in your kit. You're getting this stitched shape. This is from the Nested Essentials. The first thing you have to do though is decide which way you want your embossing folder to go. So I think it looks really nice debossed. Some of my, most of my girls I think used it embossed. So I'm going to do the opposite this time. Maybe if I take a picture later, it'll show up better in a picture. Debossed and embossed, right? So that's just going to go on here tone on tone. If you wanted to, you could grab some ink and deepen down the look of this by blender brushing it, but we're not going to blender brush this one. All right, let's talk about our great designer series paper. I love these colors together. I think they're beautiful colors together. Now, this is the paper. This is the paper before I cut it, basically. Let me just kind of clear space here. This is important paper. I love it. So the paper went from, oh my gosh, you can't even see it. Let me come down a little bit lower here. Paper. The paper started here. It had just a little bit of sky, kind of like this white tree look, kind of almost like mirrored onto a pond or something, right? Kind of very orangey, obviously, right? And toward the bottom, it got it back into these blue colors, and I adored it. But I couldn't fit the whole thing. Like, we need this much on here, but I really wanted to use this one too. So I'm going to show you the method to my madness right after we talk about this little strip of white cardstock. Now, again, when you guys are crafting, you probably have tons of these little pieces left over. You cut pieces. I'm going to kind of do this sideways a little bit here. We're using this just as an accent piece, and I put the glue on the white, and then I'm covering it up with my designer series paper, just like that. And I guess I should have said you could also use this side if you wanted to on this one. This is pretty. So this is going to come down on here just like this. So let me go ahead and adhere this. And then I'm going to talk about this little extra piece of designer series paper here. Now, the reason I added this little bit of white is because it needed some brightness. And when we get to this part right here, which is also white, we're going to stamp and die cut it. It would have been the only thing white on my card. So when you need to sneak in a little bit of white just to brighten something up, grab those scraps, because that is an awesome way to do it. Now back to this piece right here. So on my card, hopefully you can see the blue here on the bottom. This is what I'm doing. I am going to glue this to the bottom of my designer series paper here that's on my card front, because I want this blue. Now Cindy Fish did not want the blue, so I think she kept hers, unless she changed her mind. There was a lot of mind changing going on. She may have kept hers all orange because she really enjoyed those orangey colors. But I really wanted to have the blue come down here onto the bottom. And once we put some other layers over top, you don't realize that there's a seam here. And it actually looks like I've kind of shortened up the paper without, you know, without shortening up the paper. So that is some of the method to my madness here. So you're getting this piece, you're getting all these other, you've got these other pieces coming in here. So these pieces right here are going to be die cut. So again, we're reaching for that little die that looks like these 2 oak leaves. I'm going to just call them oak leaves. So we're going to get 2 wild wheat die cuts out of the oak leaves, and we're going to take the, almost looks like a branch really, and this is the pretty peacock paper, and we're going to use this paper that's in your kit, and you're going to die cut to get this little like a branch. We're going to call it a branch. So these are some of the die cuts you'll get from this card kit if you're using the same bundle. If not, feel free to change things up. Now on this paper, we're actually going to stamp one of the bigger leaf, and this is probably my favorite one. It's kind of a big open leaf. Again, this one reminds me of autumn. I feel like it could be autumn. This is Early Espresso ink, and you can either very carefully ink it this way, or because it is a big stamp, you can put it down on your work surface facing up and then ink it up this way. So once you've got that inked in Early Espresso, we're going to stamp it on the white cardstock that's in your kit, and it looks like that. It's a really awesome image. Again, with the red rubber stamps, we get some really good imagery. I feel like they stamp so much nicer. I'm just going to clean this up real quick. A little bit clean in here in between. I think we're going to use this one again, but I can't remember. So we're just going to be prepared. It will be cleaned. All right, so once you have that stamped in espresso, we're going to go ahead and die cut it. And we are actually going to die cut it. No, actually, we're not going to die cut it. I did earlier. I couldn't remember if I did or not. I did decide to. So this is the outline die. So you're just going to put it around here just like so. And when you're done, it's going to look like this, right? So it does have that white around. Now, if you were doing this, obviously, if you're doing it in different colors, it would. You could do like a tone on tone even colors. I've got Lost Lagoon here. We have the Lost Lagoon elements here in our card. So I've got the dark and the light. And we're just going to do some quick coloring on this one. And by quick coloring, I mean really quick coloring. So you can just color these leaves in pretty quickly. They would look really fantastic on a fall card, you know, kind of some orange colors or some bright yellows and reds and all those great things. I'm not trying to skip ahead, although technically I am looking forward to the fall weather already. It's only been warm a couple of days, and as much as I like summer for the daylight, I could do less with the humidity and the heat, and you know, it was a nice today. I sat on the back deck a little bit today, and it was sunny, and it was very not humid, and it was a great breeze. I think it was in the low 70s. I mean, that was perfect. That could be summer. I would be happy with that. We don't need to see those 80s and 90 numbers. That's not necessary. That's why I live in Maine. I like it to be a little colder. All right, so I'm just coming through with the dark lagoon marker and just kind of hitting the center of the flowers where there's some stamped images. And again, really quickly, good to go there. Let's bring in the new color, a new color, Peach Pie. This is one of the new in colors. And I'm going to bring my paper in because we're going to get a little messy here. So Peach Pie and a blending brush. And we're going to just make this white paper less white, basically, right? So I'm just going to softly blend. And there's no rhyme or reason here. Actually, I have a little bit of like some harsh lines, and I kind of like it because it's giving me kind of a marbled look. I don't think I quite created that on my first one, but I like this swirly. I like a little bit of white left in it too, so I'm thinking that's perfect. We don't need to, no need to go overboard there. So there's a little bit of Peach Pie, and I made this one say, "You make life better," and this was done in espresso. Right here in the bottom corner here on the right, "You make life better." We're going to put that right over there. So with the darker ink for the sentiment, it goes right over top of those lighter colors. So we've got that going on. Now this I did bump up. So, but first we're going to layer on our little, what are these called? These are called leaves. That's what they are. So we're going to layer these on. I'm just going to put them kind of up and approximately, right? So if you wanted to figure out where they should go on your card, this is dry fitting, right? So you can kind of, you put this on and go, you know what, maybe I want this up a little bit, maybe turned a little bit. And then once you're happy with it, you take off the top piece, and this is where we're going to glue them down. I'm actually going to use some tear and tape again. Tear and tape is like my friend. So I don't want to move them right now, so I'm just going to pin them down, and I'm going to just catch the bases of them where the little stems are, because I dry fit and I know that this is going to cover up my tape. So that's kind of a cheat way to not have to glue down these finicky little bits and pieces here. So I'm going to pull this off. I have found that if a dimensional tries to come over top of this white tape, then the dimensional doesn't stick. So I am going to go ahead and do that just in case my dimensionals from my sentiment piece hit that tape. We're going to use cautionary measures here. So dimensionals on here, 5 is perfect, I think. So we got 4 corners in the middle, and we're going to pop this up next. And if I can get this last piece off. Okay, here we go. And we want to do this right side up. So hopefully everything is right side up. It is. Okay, here we go. This is going to come right over here. So you're just going to kind of decide where you want it to be. I can see that, see, it's warm in the craft room today. My brown ink wasn't quite as dry as it should have been, so it kind of smudged a little bit, but it's not terrible. It's not the end of the world. I think it'll be okay. Now we're going to bring in some of our little element pieces here. We're going to bring in this piece. So you can see that little blue, that peacock there, right? We're going to cover it up. I know you barely see it, but it will kind of show a little bit here. We're going to bring in this one. Now, this time I do have to actually glue this down a little bit. I'm not covering this with a bow or ribbon or twine. So we're going to just very, very carefully pull out the tiniest little bits of glue, like tiny. In just a few spots, not even all over, just a few spots. Hopefully you can see that on there. Pretty tiny bits of glue. And once you put it down, don't move it. That's the secret, right? Because if you slide it, then it's going to be sticky everywhere. Okay, so now we're going to come through. We're going to kind of do the same thing with this, but this one, however, is a little bit bigger. So this one is, we can be a little bit more generous with our glue. Now, please notice if you can. I know it might be hard to see it. I'm basically gluing from here to here. So I'm not gluing top to bottom, and that's because I only need the glue to hit the middle of my little die cut piece here. I don't really need it to be top and bottom, because if you put it all the way through, if you had glue here, then it's going to kind of come down and be kind of wonky, right? So this actually is kind of floating here, top and bottom, because I only put the glue in the middle. So that's a little secret there too. I like to give out lots of secrets when I'm doing my card classes, so you can kind of get some good ideas. Now I'm getting some twine here. This is the wild wheat. It does match our wild wheat here. These are the in color twines that carried over from last year. Some of my girls chose to use, and I think I'm going to try it just so we have it something different. They chose to use the copper clay. I think one girl even used Pebbled Path, right? So you can use different colors. Now your kit will probably have wild wheat, although maybe it'll have the copper clay. I'm not really sure which of these is going to end up in your kit. Hopefully you guys can see this. I've been crafting and not paying attention to the camera. So you'll get a color that will work, because really any of these colors will work. They look really nice. So just making a cute little bow here. This is kind of twirly ribbon. We're going to be putting that on right about there. And I think I'm going to grab tear and tape or a glue dot. Glue dot would work here too, but I really love tear and tape, mostly because it's such a strong hold. So I'm going to flip my bow over, and I'm going to put the tear and tape on the back, pull the wrapper off, and then I'm going to manipulate the tear and tape. So it's kind of wide right here, but I can kind of roll that in a little bit so that it really does fit the center of my bow, and then it's not quite as big. And I'm going to just bring this in here and pop that on there. So there's the difference between copper clay and wild wheat. I'll lift this up in a second so you can see it a little bit better. We'll actually move this paper too, because sometimes the background paper just makes it harder to see. Now we're going to bring in some of these embellishments. Again, these are perfect. We're using the darker ones this time. They look almost lost lagoon. This is a basic gray, so when it's on here, it just kind of picks up more of this lagoon look, which I think it's kind of the chameleon bit of the embellishments here. So there we go. Copper clay wild wheat. I would love to know which ribbon you prefer on this card. I don't know. I still think I like wild wheat. Now I know wild wheat is not the most popular color, but yeah, this is okay. Deb is loving. Hi Deb, it's good to see you on here. Thank you for the lovely welcome. Deb replied to my email and said welcome back. I was like so excited to see that this morning, Deb. I was glad that someone was excited I was going to come on and do a card class today. Kelly likes the copper clay. Donna likes the wild wheat. Kathy likes copper clay. You guys are awesome. I love that you're choosing. I mean, I don't know. I think you could do either one. This one is probably more fall. But so anyway, card number 2 is done. So that's card number 2. We'll take a look at all the cards when we finish them up today. We're going to roll here into card number 3. And card number 3, I got to find my card kit. Because I have things all over. So hopefully you guys can see a little bit here, a little sneak peek of Deb likes copper clay. Pinks, purples, what do you want to call these? This is actually Petunia Pop. There's some Petunia Pop in here with Blackberry Bliss. And I think the Petunia Pop, when I first looked at it, I'm like, well, it's purple, but sometimes it has kind of a pinkish tone. We're also using basic beige, so these are some new colors here. This is your card kit for this card. I'm going to grab out things that I've already done ahead of time. So you're going to get a basic beige base, a layering piece. You're going to get some of this great Petunia Pop ribbon. I love these colors together. This will be die cut for you. This is a stylish shaped circle. Adore it. I have a couple of extra things in here because I wanted to show you. So you'll be getting one piece of designer series paper that looks like this, but depending on where it's cut from the 6x6 sheet, it may look like. So you can see here how it would be cut, right? So some of you may get some that look like this, where there's a lot more purple or sky. Some of you are going to get some that look like full-on grass, and this is what you've got. I should show you the card too, right? This is the card. So again, we're using that really pretty designer series paper. So this is where that little square is going to be. So just imagine this as a square instead. So it's going to have a lot more of the sky, but we're going to be covering up some things with the swooshing bow, which I feel like probably could have been anchored a little bit better, and some other elements as well. Now this purple paper that's back here in the background, this is actually a different pack of paper. I don't know if it's going to show really well here. It's kind of like thistle. It's really cool. So depending on what piece of this you get, I wanted to show you. So my intention was to use the purple, but if you have the right thistle piece, we're going to call it thistle. This one right here, for example, would look really awesome layered with, where is our layering piece? Right here. It's white. With this. So it would look really awesome. We're going to just kind of do a quick dry fit here to put this thistle piece on here with the beige. Let's grab this little piece of paper here so you can kind of see here where that thistle piece would go well, but the blue sky piece behind here probably not quite as well. I mean, unless you liked it. Right. So there are some options. I think I'm going to use this piece and this piece just to show you a completely different look to this card right here. All right, so with that being said, this is your layering piece. There's a white piece in here that is meant to layer, and then you've got the Petunia Pop, which is meant to layer squares with this. So that leaves you these extra pieces right here. Hopefully I am in camera. I keep going up too high tonight. My camera's at an odd angle, I think. So we're going to glue these together real quick just so you can see the layering pieces of this card. So I'm going to pop this designer paper. This is intended to just give you a white peak at the top and bottom. These papers are the same length. So that is, I just love this, all of the paper in this pack. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely gorgeous. Now the back side of this piece is very blue, Lost Lagoon, so it's probably not going to go really well with your Petunia Pop. So we're going to keep it more purple. We're going to keep it purple friendly for this one. Okay, so that leaves some of these things to be die cut and stamped on our sentiment piece and all that good stuff. So we're going to start with this layering piece and some basic beige. So we're going to do a little bit of stamping here and some blender brush work. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way because I think we're going to need to bring in our background paper again here. So we're going to use that cute little splotchy stamp that came in the stamp set, and we're just going to splotch a few things here. This is where you want to splotch. Roxana was chasing splotches in a bad way at class, so she kept covering up boo-boos with splotches, and this is the way you want to splotch. You want to just be able to just splotch and make a mess. That's all good. So this is the basic beige, new kind of neutral color. It is actually listed in with the whites, vanilla, and basic black in the annual catalog. So it's not in a color family. It's just in with the basics. It's basic beige. Now basic beige, funnily enough, right? You think beige would be brown. This beige has a very green, I don't know if you can see it on this blending brush, has a very green tone to it, which is really interesting. Kind of, I feel more green than brown. But anyway, so I have splotched, actually have a splotch right here that I didn't mean to do, and kind of covered up some of that cardstock. And then we're going to glue this right down onto this. Now, I like to do, if I'm using kind of a tone-on-tone layer for the front of my card, like this would be, if I put this on here, it's tone-on-tone. I like to sometimes either emboss it with an embossing folder, or do what I just did, sponge it, make it look like it's two different colors so you can still see the background, the base of the card, and now it just adds that extra rich layering process to it. We're going to go ahead and put our thistles down, because we can get this on here and out of the way. It's going to come just kind of right across the middle. Already, I love it. I mean, you could just add a sentiment on here, a little bit of ribbon, and you would have a really cute card, right? Just like this. You don't have to go crazy. If you wanted to use this on another card front, you definitely can. We're going to be putting it right here, though. And again, I'm just going to be gluing this straight down. And make sure I can see some of that thistle sticking out there. It's probably going to get covered later with all my other layers, but the thought process was there that it could possibly be kind of sweet to have that little bit laying out. I just really like that. Okay, so let me move my messy paper so we can see better what we're going to do with the rest of our other papers. We got some stamping to do on this one. So on this this beautiful petunia pop, we're bringing this in. We use this on our first card in blue. If you didn't catch that, you can check it out later. But this is the Petunia Pop ink. I don't have my labels on it yet. And that's not what I want. So let's reverse. Let's go to, I do need that, but not right yet. This is Blackberry Bliss. So what we're going to be doing is Blackberry Bliss ink on Petunia Pop paper. Really looks amazing. Like, I love these colors together. So here we go. Blackberry on Petunia Pop. Now this will have a die cut. Actually, while this is out, let's do our sentiment. I appreciate you. Appreciate you guys. So we're going to do the sentiment here. Let's see if I can get it lined up. Pretty good. We're going to go with it. Okay, so there's my sentiment. I think I'm done with this ink. I'm going to cover this up before I get inky-er. Now this is Petunia Pop. We still have Petunia Pop out, so we're not done with that one yet. Do I need this one anymore? I do not. I'm just going to set that aside. So there is the die that will die cut this. We did not use the die cut last time. I've got to find it. So the die cut will come around just like this. So it's obviously the outline shape of it. And after you die cut it, it's going to look like this. So you still see the tone on tone here, like the petunia behind. And we're going to doctor this up a little bit yet. And we're going to doctor this up a little bit. So let's start with these cute little flowers right here. We're doing these in Petunia Pop right on the middle of this circle. So just like that. And then we're going to bring in my messy paper again. We're going to do some blending. So let's do the blender with the Petunia Pop color, which is this one right here. And we're going to do a little bit on the circle. So this is like quick coloring. And it's colored just like that. So if you want to color it with markers, go for it. Sometimes I just want to add a little bit of ink and call it a day. Now for the flowers, we're actually going to do the same thing. We're gonna bring in our blender here with now I'm using Petunia Pop ink on the Petunia Pop paper, and I want to show you the difference because it's just totally amazing. So this, again, Petunia Pop paper, not blended, and this is the Petunia Pop paper that has the ink. What a difference, right? How huge is that difference right there? Just ink, tone on tone. It really, it elevates what you're doing in such a way. It makes it look like you have every color of the rainbow, because you have Petunia Pop and Blackberry and Petunia Pop, and just a really great way. I do love to blender brush. So that is a little bit of a look at that. The last thing you would be doing with your card kit is this piece of white that's right here, and you would be just die cutting out this little sprig of flowers, and it looks like this in white. Really cute, right? I can't wait to show you the last card. It's going to get even fancier. Like the fancy. I try to save the grand finale for the grand finale. So there is all of our parts and pieces. Now we can finish putting this one together. So I just need to like bring in my original card here and see, what did I just do? Sometimes I forget what I've done. All right, so this is going to come over here. Look at how cute the white flowers brighten up this card. There's a little bit of white here, just like I talked about earlier. Sneak in a little bit of white if you have another white, you know, a couple more white elements and you don't have enough white on a card. You want to sneak in a little bit of white here and there, and it just really brightens everything up. I'm going to angle cut my sentiment just like that. So that's one of my favorite ways to cut the sentiment. So I do have to glue this down a little bit, just like the previous card. I'm going to very carefully, I feel like this is super sticky on the end, and we're gonna try to be, I could see that that was going to be a big glop, so I kind of let it go onto my finger instead of the flowers. We're going to just add a little bit, just a tiny, again, just a tiny little bit, just enough to give it the idea that we want it to hang out here and be a part of the process. I'm going to try to like squish that down. My fingers have glue on them, so I don't want to like touch them with my fingers, and there it goes. Yep, just like that. Okay, we're gonna try to get that to glue down. Okay, that's good. Now the best part about this is that I'm going to put another flower over top of it. So this one right here, where I can be quite generous with my adhesive, will go over top of this one and help to kind of secure it down. So you're going to see just a little bit of a peek here at the white flowers before we put our darker flower down on there. So there we go. Now we're going to bring in our ribbon and do a little swooshing. So with the ribbon, I think this is 12 inches of Petunia Pop ribbon. I like to kind of hold it in my hand. Well, this is my left hand. So I'm holding it here about a third of the way up. So you can see here, my fingers have it at a third. I'm going to bring it back this way, and I might manipulate it a little bit. Bring it back this way, and then I'm just going to bring it this way. So I just created a swoosh. Now you can keep this swoosh as kind of like up, down, up, or if you want to manipulate it slightly, you can make it kind of bend into a bow. So those are different ways you can swoosh. So hopefully you can see here that we have a bow. If I've just moved it up, I'm holding it here because this is where the tape has to go to hold this down. We're going to use my scissors for a second, and we can manipulate that again, but we're going to bring in some tear and tape. I might have to adjust a little bit here. So swoosh or bow, your choice, but it helps you to not have a knot in the middle here. We're going to cover that up, and I think I'm going to put one more tear and tape on here and cover it up a little bit more, because our little flower is going to come here right in the middle, right? So that's going to cover over top of the tear and tape. I just need to make sure that that tear and tape is set there. It's going to hold the swooshing down for me. I'm going to peel up my paper backing here. And that's coming up nicely, right? So it's on there. We're good. Okay. Now we're going to put our little circle on here, and what I'm going to do is I dimensional it over top of the bow, because right, it's kind of lumpy right now. The thing that I like to do best is I like to add some dimensionals next to the bow, right? So they're not on the bow, because that would make it extra bumpy there, right? So I'm going to add 3 of them just like that. Now this has the backings on it, so I can kind of dry fit, and yes, I know that now my circle will fit over top. Then I don't have extra bumps on the bow, which just, I don't like the unevenness. So by putting the dimensionals around the ribbon, it just really works. And then we're going to just kind of make sure we have this centered, covered by our dimensionals, all of those good things, right? So there's our little swooshy ribbon, which could use a little bit of angle cutting at the ends there. And then we've got I Appreciate You, right? So this is going to come in over here. And this is where you kind of have to decide where you want. This is the hardest part, right? Because I might want to take advantage of, I think I will, the fact that the sky here has so much open space. Sounds like the sky. I'm going to put a dimensional right here now, and I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive here on the I appreciate you side, and then I'm going to just make sure that this is going to catch on here and here. And look at how cute that is. I really, even though you can barely see the little thistle here, this is a different tone of paper, less purpley, which may upset you a little bit if you love purple. But there's another look at this one. And I'm going to use the darker, I use the darker pearls on this one, it looks like, in different sizes. I think, I use 3 small ones on this one. So I'm just gonna, sometimes if you have it down, you kind of like where you've got them, I just want to just mimic that and not have to think too much. Thinking about where pearls go can be really like difficult. So here we go. We've got our 3rd card here, and you can see that even your card kits at home, there's going to be variations on how they go together depending on which section of designer series paper you're getting. I'm going to flip over real quick here and look at messages in case I've seen anything. Kelly loves Petunia Pop. It's really pretty. It's growing on me, Kelly. I love the Summer Splash because I'm a bluish girl, blue-green girl. But I think Petunia is my 2nd favorite. Hi, Janice. Oh my gosh. It's so good to see you here. Ooh, flowers and wild wheat. Deb, I like the way you're thinking. That's awesome. So yeah, there's lots of different things that you can do, definitely. So change them up and have fun with the creativity. All right, we are going on to our last card. I think we're doing good on time. 4 cards tonight, you guys. 4 cards. My new class will be 4 cards, and hopefully we'll be able to get through them in an hour because there's a lot to do, right? I don't like to take up too much time. This is your 4th card kit. This one is my favorite. Blue, a surprise. And again, some really, I think it's because I love this designer series paper, some really great designer series paper in this one. Now this one also has an embossed piece. This one you may be able to see a little bit better. This one is from the Eyelet. Aw, Janice, thank you. I love that you love that card. I'll be emailing out images of all of them here too, so you'll be able to see all of them if you don't want to watch all the replay. But this is called Eyelet. Really fun embossing folder, another new one. So I think you can see it better on this one, but wait until you see it on the card. So you're getting a lot. I mean, this looks like it's very monochromatic, right? Lots of blues and whites for this card kit. A little bit of designer series paper. This one is my favorite. Look at how beautiful this looks together. So this is going to be our final card. Lots of great matted layers again. Let's talk a little bit about how we're going to turn this into a whitewashed look. So let me move all my layers aside. Let me bring in my messy paper, and we're going to bring in for this one, if I can find it, a blending brush, and the colors we're using for this one are Boho Blue, Whisper White, and Misty Moonlight. So this is a very bluish toned card, right? So Whisper White. This is a craft ink. So it says right here, craft ink. Hopefully you can see that. Different from the regular stamp pads. This is kind of more of a chalky ink. I need to do a little TLC to my ink pad. It's kind of the sponge is coming up. I need to get some hot glue in there and kind of glue it back down. So these come uninked. You get the ink pad, and then you get a bottle of like ink refill. Basically, you have to ink the pad up. It's kind of a sticky, tacky. If you've never used it before, it's almost tacky, and it's kind of like, I'm going this way with it because my pad's kind of wonky, but so you're just going to load up your brush, and when you first put it down, you're going to see that you're going to get like a really almost like a chalky look to it. Now I'm recommending you start here and then kind of just work your way up softly and like kind of catch the outer edges here. We really just need to see the outer edges on this card, so the harsher line, you can start kind of in the middle and then kind of whitewash it. So we're whitewashing here, basically. So I'm just going to kind of come down through. I'm going to do like half of it-ish. So you can kind of see here. Now, of course, the middle is ugly. Don't think about the middle. But I want you to see the white along the outer edges, how it kind of dulls the boho, but also gives it that kind of like a white lacy look to it. The bottom here I haven't done yet, so we're going to flip this over. Sometimes I like to flip and just go this way, and we're going to kind of come across here. Now this does take, sometimes it feels like it's coming off on everything, like, to be honest, like everything. You may want to like put it upside down on a piece of paper and rub a little bit. You might want to let it dry a little bit. You can kind of heat set it if you want to. I just keep rolling. I'm just like, let's just go, right? So we've got this cute little whitewashed, so different from the original color. Now, if you don't have white ink and this is not something that's your jam, go ahead and use the boho, right? Make it a little bit darker then. Instead of whiter, go darker. So this is just what it looks like, and that's what you do. Now these are still water-based, right? So we can clean this up. I don't clean up my blender brushes. I just let them be, and all the ink that's on there is going to be all the ink that's going to be on there for forever. I'm just going to grab, I got one more piece here so I can show you from start to finish here. The one on my right is the boho embossed. The one on my left is embossed and then craft ink. So you can see how much lighter that gets. It's really just fascinatingly interesting. And I like the white and blue, this kind of like Delft China look. Once we get all this put together here, it's just really pretty. So I'm going to grab out parts and pieces that I already die cut. We're going to just put this down. So again, this is where you could put it on a scrap paper and just kind of rub it a little bit. And then if there's anything that's kind of still wet and tacky, it could come off on your paper rather than all over your fingers or your next project, you know, things like that. So we're just going to put this on the front here, and we'll put that on just like so, and it's just really pretty. I absolutely love the white and blue look to that. Okay, so I think we can get rid of my messy mat because we don't need to look at that, and then we can focus on our card here a little bit more. So layers and layers and layers, because of course I love the layers. We're going to start with this one. Now this really, you could use this too, right? But I really love this. I really love this paper. So we're going with this one. So you're going to have all of these papers in your kit. You've got some big whites, you've got some medium whites. So we're going to just go ahead and layer together whatever you can find, right? That's white, blue, and then designer series paper. We are creating the classic matted look that I just adore, and just I can't seem to get away from it. I really wanted to come into these new card classes with less layers, simpler cards, and I don't know, this is just my jam. I just love the pretty colors and layers and papers together. So I'm going to try to make some simpler cards, but it's just really easy to add more layers and colors, and just it's so pretty. So this is what this looks like. I mean, gorgeous, right? So even the bones of this card is absolutely stunning, I think. Now, before we put this down, we're going to talk about this cute little piece right here. I had this as an extra scrap, and I was actually intending to use the blue side, which you definitely could. I wanted like this to be blue, 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 and more blue. And my intention was to use it this way when I designed the card, but I flipped it around accidentally, and I had the purple on here, and I just adored the little bit of purple. It just brings this card to life. So you can see it here on this card. Now I want to point out that in my class, Betsy was really smart, and I said, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to do this in my class. I'm just going to chop this in half, because what she did was she put them one on this side and one on this side, and then this was more in the middle, right? And then you have the purple on both sides, and I thought that was so beautiful. So I was like, Betsy, I'm probably going to do this in class on Monday because I really like this idea. So I love getting ideas from my stampers when they take something that I have, you know, I've designed, and I'm saying, here, put this together like this, and they go, no, I'm putting it together like this. I'm like, wow, that is so awesome. So we're just going to do this. In Betsy's defense, she said I shouldn't have given you guys as big of a piece of paper, that she could cut it in half and use it just like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just love it. So Betsy, if you're watching this, kudos to you. This was like probably one of my favorite change-ups of the card class from Saturday stamping live at my house. I'm going to be a little dimensional heavy here and put on lots and lots and lots of dimensionals. So this is going to go on with dimensionals, and it's so pretty. And you can see here that, I mean, pretty much so far everything that comes in the kit, you can do this, whether you're darkening down this eyelet or not. I mean, you can definitely just, you're going to have really pretty cards this week. So I'm going to put this on here, centering it, so you get a little bit of purple on both sides instead of just on one side. So that is an option. Just so pretty though. Oh my goodness. All right, let's talk a little bit about the rest of the pieces in your kit. Obviously, we've got a sentiment piece here for Dearest Friend. And then we've got 2 pieces that you're going to die cut with the dies from Thoughtful Wishes or whatever other kind of dies you have that would work. So earlier we did on our first card, we did this one in white. We're going to do this in boho this time. And earlier we did this little sprig on white and we left it white, but this time we're going to doctor it up. So these are what you're going to get from these 2 pieces right here. And this is going to come out. Oh, we're going to doctor all of them up. I totally forgot about that. It's a good thing I have a sample here to look at. Oh my goodness. All right, bring in the messy paper. We're getting messy. Okay, messy paper. Here we go. So this boho right here, if I can pick up my card, this boho looks a little bit different from the boho on the card, and that's because we took the boho blue ink and we inked up our boho blue cardstock. I feel like I'm reading Dr. Seuss now. Okay, boho blue. So when you have something that's kind of delicate like this one is, what you want to do is you want to maybe start halfway on it and go away. So you're just adding the ink and you're brushing it one way and away, right? So I'm not going back and forth because that's going to pull the paper back toward me and bend it. So you're just going to go away. And I like to flip it, and then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start in the middle here kind of and go away. So I'm just brushing it and then picking it up. So I'm brushing it out, picking it up, coming back and brushing it out. So I'm not going back and forth on it. You're going to have a really cool stencil mark here on your paper, and depending on how dark you do, you can you know, obviously add more if you want to. It just, again, color, tone on tone, just changes up the color so much. So this is with the ink on it. This is the original color of the cardstock that it came off of. So really awesome. So we're boho bluing that, and we are going to color our little flower sprig here with some blends, and then I need Misty Moonlight for my sentiment. And we're going to be wrapping this up here very, very shortly. So I used Dearest Friend for the sentiment. So we're going to get a little sentiment piece here. If you ever mess up your kits at home, just grab some more scraps of white paper. You get the recipes will be emailed to you, so you'll know what size to cut, and then you can just keep going, right? You know, there's nothing wrong with that. So this on my card, you can see here, is a little bit more colorful. We're going to actually use Mossy Meadow. I've got light Mossy Meadow. My light Old Olive, I'm going to talk to you about that in a second. And then I've got light Misty. So light Old Olive is what's on here. When I pull this apart, because it's been pulled apart so many times, this is what happens sometimes to your blends when they get like abused and pulled apart. So we're reefing on them pretty hard here to get the caps off sometimes, and they stick terribly. We know this, right? They have to be tight. This is alcohol ink and it will dry up. So it is possible randomly I can wiggle the cap and get this off, and my other end is in sad state. It's very frayed and fuzzy, so that's the brush end. So I decided that I'm just going to change it up tonight and use light Mossy Meadow. So there we go. This one came out nicely. We're good to go. We're going to just color the leaves and the stems here. And I'm always using the nib end when I color with my blends because I don't want the brush end to get fuzzy. I think no matter how hard you try to use that fuzzy, the brush end, it just fuzzes because it's so soft and squishy. And as soon as you push down on it, it just kind of, it falls apart. So we're just going to kind of come quickly down through here and color. So this is kind of, you can make all kinds of colors here now, right? So if you do your die cut in white, like I just did, and then you can color your stems. You could do different colors of green too. And then you could color the flowers if you wanted to and make them really pretty. So we're going to kind of come down here. Now I wanted the flowers to stay pretty white because I really like the white look. So what I did with the Misty Moonlight is I just went up and under each of the bases. Hopefully I've got all of that done. So you kind of see here. And if there's a little bit of white, I'm okay with that because I really like the white look here. So now we're going to come in with the Misty Moonlight, and this is the light Misty Moonlight. Again, the nib end always, please. And I'm just going to kind of touch the bottom of these flowers, not in a too straight of a manner. I don't want them to look like they're, they have a bowl haircut, right? So I might just kind of tap that on there and fuzz them up a little bit, make them a little uneven here. But I'm keeping most of the flowers white. I'll pick this up in just a second so you can see. Oh, that was actually should have been a leaf, but that's okay. Hopefully if my camera adjusts a little bit, you can see just a very little bit of blue at the bottom, and then the rest of the flowers are still white. I just thought that was really pretty. Now, of course, you can color them completely if you want to. I just like the extra white on there too. So let's put this together and then we will call this class fun and done. I'm gonna grab a little bit of glue here. This is a little bit bigger of a piece. I'm just gonna grab some here kind of in the middle, and we're gonna put this up here to the side. And then where's my little flower sprig? There it is. Okay, same thing with this. I'm just gonna find a few spots where it will accept little dabs of glue. Just a few spaces. And then we're going to put this down. Doesn't take a lot of glue to hold things down. Okay, so we're going to kind of hold that there for a second and make sure it likes where it's at. All right, so there is that. Use my messy mat one more time. And we're going to bring in Dearest Friend with some dimensionals. And then we're going to add. So if you've been watching this class from start to finish, I would love to know which card is your favorite. I am going to pull them all out here one more time so you can take a look at them. Now keep in mind there are 4 cards. I'm going to be showing you 2 of each, but you're only getting 1 of each in the mail, right? You will also be getting the card recipes. So you can continue to make these cards to your heart's content. You just got to cut some paper, emboss it. I mean, you could use a different embossing folder if you don't have these ones. Swap them out with other embossing folders. Can be done. And I'm going to put the lighter color pearls on this one. Get more of that whitish look going on. Oh, this one just makes me pretty happy. I have to say, I really like this one. All right, so this is card number 4. This is Boho Blue. Dearest Friend. Again, the sentiments on here are very interchangeable. This is a really great set of cards. It's a really great bundle as well, right? So there's lots of sentiments. There's lots of ways you can use the sentiments. If you missed the beginning, I will be sharing my PDF for the Thoughtful Wishes sentiment combos. So these are the 6 sentiments that are in the stamp set. I've put them together so you can say thanks, dearest friend, thanks, I appreciate you, thanks, you make life better, thanks, thinking of you fondly, right? So it's kind of a quick glance at like, what kind of card are you making? Missing you, dearest friend, missing you, thinking of you fondly, missing you, you make life better. So it's got kind of the things that go together really nicely. I'm going to throw that into a PDF and put that in my Thursday email. So you'll have that to print, cut, and put it into your stamp case. I think it's kind of neat to have that, to be able to look at that quickly and go, this is what I'm making on my card. Let's see. Oh, thanks for loving the cards, you guys. That's so awesome. Vellum branches would be so awesome, Lois. You're right. I was really sad that Stampin' Up got rid of vellum. What are they thinking? I still have vellum, and I will still use vellum. They just don't sell it anymore. Lisa liked the card class. Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys have enjoyed this card class. Layer. I know, Deb, I can't stop the layers. Don't forget Stampin' Up! Free shipping day tomorrow at $75 order and over. You get free shipping. So you're going to want to do that. Hi, Patty. Thanks for loving these cards. We missed you at class Saturday. So thank you guys so much for enjoying. You can use this if you get the kits at home. You can use this to assemble your cards. You'll get the recipes. If you have any questions, please reach out and let me know. I'll be sharing these cards on Facebook, so you'll see pictures of them through the week to remind you how beautiful they all are. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this class. It was so good to be able to hang out with you a little bit again. I will not be doing Thursdays at 3. So I'm going to, again, changing some things up, but there are other things in store. So don't worry, as I'm removing things, I'm also adding in some different things too. And I'm going to let it just kind of unfold as a surprise for you. So I so appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. Until next time, stay inspired, create something beautiful, and share the love. Bye, everybody.